Yes, I knew where everything was, but I didn't know the place where this, the place where Scania is located is.
So did you know at least the distance that you'll be traveling escorting this truck?
Yes, I know the distance was between 20 and 25 cases.
Yeah. But do you also appreciate that, in fact, you might have put yourself and your colleague in danger by allowing a truck to go to another destination where they could call and say, we have company. And when you get in there, you are met with other things. Did you accept that there was
I
a
accept
risk?
that, and I take this as, I don't take this, I take this as serious, and it definitely, if something might have happened, but God forbid it never happened. But there were possibilities.
That possibility arises because you've already now told Mr. Haddock that there are drugs in this truck. That possibility that in fact you could potentially have ended up with these illicit drugs being taken by somebody else, because now you've shared the information that this truck is carrying drugs.
I agree with you, Commissioners.
You didn't consider that risk, that by moving this truck onto the road when you have now revealed to someone outside your circle that there are drugs in this truck, that you actually have created a risk that someone else might just take those drugs from you on the road.
Commissioners, I'll be honest with you, that we didn't think of, but possibilities, I don't rule out the possibilities of that happening.
Yeah, no, it's a possibility it didn't happen. I really we're more concerned about your own conduct and thought processes, how you thought and why you would have thought this is appropriate. Having disclosed already to the security at the gate that there's a truck that has drugs on it, you've now disclosed to Mr. Haddock in there, and then you deem it appropriate, and at this stage, I'm not concerned about Chief Mashaba, I'm talking about you, SAPS, that you think it's appropriate. You didn't consider at all the risk of driving with those drugs in that truck.
At that time, Commissioner, I would
did
say we
not.
didn't consider that as a risk.
All right, thank you.
I suppose on that score, Warrant Officer, is it something that you would consider to be an oversight, or it's something that you just did not have appreciation of the magnitude or situation that you were
Commissioner,
dealing with?
it was I'll consider it as an oversight. And for the fact that at least Mr. Harder gave us his option, another option of maybe searching the truck. But I don't know if I'm answering you.
I accept that. We can move on to paragraph 10.
We left the premises and followed the truck as agreed. I used my unmarked NP300 black buggy. Chief Mashaba and Mr. Nku followed in their respective cars. I also noticed that the yellow buggy from Yellow Jersey also followed us from a distance. Can I just make a correction? Before we left the premises, the Yellow Jersey premises, I left my numbers with Mr. Harder, and he actually gave me his numbers. Then I gave him a missed call so that he can have my numbers.
Did Chief Mashaba do the same?
No. Only me did that.
Why you? It's not your operation. Why are you the one that's giving Mr. Haddock your number and not Chief Mashaba? It's not a SAPS operation, you've told us. It's
Yes.
a traffic department operation.
But for a mere fact that I was also part of that, I felt that I can just leave my numbers because we are a team, we are together.
Okay. All right.
Just on that score, before you proceed with paragraph 11, is there any reason why you allowed the informant, Mr. Ngu, to follow you?
Before we left, we went to our different cars. So we drove together. In my understanding, I thought maybe Mr. Nku along the way will take another, because we were now following the track to another destination.
And
That
you-
was not discussed whether Mr. Nku will be part of us or will follow us.
And you will accept, at least for a moment, that it's not ideal for informant, especially having given you the necessary information to be part of your contingent to a potential second crime scene.
I would explain this in this way. Sometimes informers give information to the police, and some policemen, even if the information was positive, they will say it was not positive. And in this instance also, when we arrive at Scania, I questioned this. I asked Mr. Mashaba, because Mr. Nku was now parked in the premises. He alluded to me that Nku had a previous experience whereby he gave information to the police, and they even if the information was positive, but they said it was negative.
But in your understanding that he had no business of being there.
Because he was not taking part. He was always seated in his car. And sometimes when we follow information, we'll drive with the informant, as long as the identity of the informant will be concealed.
But there's no concealment here. You go into a potential dangerous situation, which could be actually dangerous for him, who is a civilian. And you have obtained all the necessary information, or was there any other information you required from him?
No, according to his explanation, that was only that.
So when I say he had no business in being there, what's your comment?
I won't fully agree with you, commissioners, because like I'm saying, it was because of his previous experience. Even though I would say it was at least dangerous for him, but as long as he is not partaking, that for me, it was not going to be a problem.
No, but you didn't know that. You didn't know his past experience. And I'm not sure how is that relevant.
But this is the explanation that I got from his handler, Chief Mashaba. And I wouldn't dictate for Mashaba to how he must handle his informant.
So you're deferring to Mr. Mashaba then?
Commissioners?
Are you relying on Mashaba then to say, because he said, because of his previous experience, that Mr. Nku wants to be there to make sure that this operation is a success? You will say it's because of Mr. Mashaba.
That's correct. I wouldn't have powers to say, Mr. Mashaba, tell your informant, because I suggested, we spoke about it. If he had problems, or if he shared the same sentiment with me, he would have said, maybe advise Mr. Nku not to be part of the operation, or not to be nearer to the place.
I suppose the question is, if you were in charge and of making the final decision, would you have had Mr. Nku there?
It's a very dicey question, but I think if the informant, if I was a handler and the informant was having such a concern, as long as he's safe and his identity is concealed, I was not gonna
No,
have
but
any difficulty.
No, I'm not saying put propositions. I'm saying in the situation that you were in, you are not his handler, you're not aware of his previous discomforts. You know, it's a simple question to say, if you were in charge, would you have had him there in your position, no other propositions or possibilities?
I would have done the same,
Have him there.
as long as his concealment, his identity is concealed.
Okay. Let's go to paragraph 11 then.
While in transit, I then started calling other members from different units for assistance, backup, including the following. I called Warrant Officer Chidi from Crime Intelligence Unit in Jamestown, but he told me that he is unable to make it as he was attending a funeral in Limpopo. I then called Brigadier Liwele from DPCI in Jamestown. Unfortunately, his phone was off. I then called Warrant Officer Pukungwane from Alberton CIS. Maybe I must explain this. CIS stands for Crime Investigation Services, which is the detectives. He also could not assist because he said he was not feeling well after taking a COVID-19 vaccine and therefore indisposed. He also indicated he is the one who gave Mr. Mashava my contacts, as Chief Mashava called him before calling me for assistance. So maybe to explain this, before Chief Mashava called me, this is the person that he called first, Warrant Officer Pukungwane of Alberton. That is how, because I didn't even have Mashava's number, Mashava didn't even have my numbers. So he got my numbers from Warrant Officer Pukungwane. I then called Warrant Officer Pakula from National Investigation Unit, which is called the NINO. Fortunately, he said he was available to assist, but he was still at home preparing himself for work. He requested me to call him again when this information is positive, and we agree on that. I then called my station commander, Lieutenant Colonel Risenga Albert Chauke, to report that I'm following an information with a member from Gauteng Traffic Police about a truck which is alleged to be carrying or transporting drugs to Ireton. He did not express any difficulty with what I was reporting, and he requested me to be update or provide him with a feedback on an opportunity time.
Warrant Officer, none of these people that you have listed, and starting with Maja, when you got the call the first time, and here in paragraph 11, none of them is from your Zonke Zizwe police station. You've called people outside.
That's correct.
I assume you're not the only member of Zonke Zizwe. There are other capable SEPS members there.
To be honest with you, commissioners, at Zonke Zizwe at that time, because I left Zonke Zizwe at, I think, before 7.
Yes.
Other office members were not available. It's only a sector vehicle. And we operating with only one vehicle for the complaints and CSC duties. Sorry about that.
So, well, my question was going to be, why did you not call anyone from Zonke Zizwe when you were making these calls? How come there's no one from your police station that you called and then have them tell you, I'm unavailable, I don't have a car, or they are not answering their phones. You've gone to everybody except anyone from your police station.
Is that because since I'm explaining that we only have one vehicle from Zonke which is doing sectors.
Yes.
So that I knew that even if I can call them, they wouldn't go with me because they will focus on doing CSC duties and attending to complaints around.
So at Zonke Zizwe, no one goes outside. Are you saying to us, all the police at Zonke Zizwe police station, they work only inside?
No, detectives can.
Yes, so why did you not call one of them or 3, 4, 5, whatever number you have, instead of calling people who say, I'm in a funeral in Limpopo, you called that person. How you choose them, you call DPCI, and then you call Pogungwane, who says, I'm not well. And when all of them are unavailable to you, you don't say, let me try one of, or 2 or 3 of my people in Zonke Zizwe. You are in a police car, so you could have given them a lift. You could have gone back to fetch them
Yes,
because Chief Mashaba has the situation under control. Why did you not call your people?
that didn't cross my mind. Providence.
Okay. Thank you.
Were you focusing on any specialities, or were you just calling people at random?
I was calling people that I know that they will have a mandate or they can work outside.
Were you calling people who have or asked or were specializing in certain fields, or were you calling people at random?
I was calling people who, some of them are doing specializing, like Warrant Officer Chidi is from crime intelligence, so he can follow information. Then Brigadier Luele, DPCI, he's the head of DPCI in Jamestown. So Warrant Officer Pukungwane is from Alberton. And I was calling people that I know they are always available or that I've worked with them before.
So it was more a question of availability, according to your understanding, and not so much
In-
what they specialized in.
That's correct,
All
Commissioner.
right, thank you.
Warrant Officer, Mahani, just on that score, because you seem to be struggling to get hold of from Chidi to even Pakula himself. He was not immediately available. Surely you could have just called 10-111 to get manpower. Did you try that?
No, I didn't. To be
Is
honest with you, I never thought of calling 10-111.
All right, let's proceed.
You knew or you know about, we've heard there's a SANEB in DPCI. You know anything about it?
I know, that's why I called Brigadier Luele.
Is he in SANEB?
No, he's at serious anti-corruption.
Yes.
But because I didn't have numbers of a SANEP member at DPCI, so I was going to ask him to organize a SANEP. That was the whole idea of calling Brigadier Luele.
Is he the only DPCI person that you
That
know?
I've had
that you
his
know?
number. That I had his number. I called Warrant Officer Pakula from National. Fortunately, he said he was available to assist, but he was still at home preparing himself for work. He requested me to call him again when this information is positive, and we agreed. Okay. We then followed the truck until we reached Ireton, Omnia Industrial Park, where the container was supposed to be delivered at Scania warehouse.
Warrant officer, just stop there. You are now in Johannesburg.
Right inside Johannesburg.
Yes, because Aroton is that industrial area next to the FNB Stadium.
That's
It's about
correct,
2
Commissioner.
kilometers from the FNB Stadium. Now you are in Johannesburg jurisdiction. You've got Boyson's police station nearby. You've got Diepkloof, you've got Omonde, you've got Mondio, you've got Central Johannesburg possibly. Even Lenesia. Lenesia is a bit off. Did you call any of those stations to say, we are people from Ekurhuleni. We are now going to be conducting a search operation in your area of jurisdiction. Please give us permission and support. I'll tell you why I'm asking this. We've heard from other witnesses in a different stream who said, because they were from Ekurhuleni, specifically EMPD, when they needed to come and conduct an operation within the Johannesburg area, they reported at the nearest police station to the station commander that we will be conducting an operation in your area. And they signed a book in that station. And that's how they were able to continue to conduct an operation. Now, in this case, you are now in Johannesburg. You are there to search and look for drugs. And you did not contact the police stations that are actually responsible for that area. Let me try and understand whether you contacted them, and if you did not, why you did not contact them.
No, I didn't contacted them
Why did you not contact them?
because already Warrant Officer Pakula, who also has a mandate to handle cases of drugs related and other high profile cases, agreed to say no, he's willing to come and assist.
But you say he was only willing to come and assist if the information was positive.
That's correct.
Meaning you would have had to open the container and establish that the information is positive before you called him.
That's correct.
Now,
Commissioner.
how were you going to open that container and, as the chair asked you earlier, verify that there are indeed drugs in that container? Because that's the only way you can verify that the information is positive and then call Pakula. But my main concern is the mere fact of you opening the container. It means you are conducting a search operation in the Joburg jurisdiction, and you are doing so without notifying the police stations that are responsible for that area.
True, commissioners.
And you did not even ask for backup. What if there was a shootout or something even more serious?
No, commissioners, if you follow information that is not violence related, sometimes we take things very easy. When to calls, you tend to even forget that the so-called death. You just tell yourself that whatever happened, because we were not, if this thing was like a robbery or what we'd have called for backup.
But you're following a container that comes from a foreign country and landed at a port in Durban. And according to the information you have, it is carrying drugs. You don't consider that situation to be dangerous?
No.
Don't you think the owners of those drugs, assuming there were drugs in the container, would want to get hold of their drugs, and they would do anything to stop you from getting hold of them?
That was possible.
You didn't apply your mind to that at all?
No, I'll be honest with you, that never come to, it never come to that extent.
And this Nissan van you were driving in, I'm sorry to say, doesn't seem like a fast vehicle. It looks like one of those slow tortoise type vehicles that would take you forever to get anywhere.
Commissioners, you know, like I was alluding that when duty calls, sometimes you tend to forget about the dangers that you might face.
I would expect a trained policeman to be alert to those things.
That's correct. That's why we need a refresher course. Because I was at the college in 1998. The other basic things, we tend to forget them and we don't apply them anymore. I agree. It's a very important remark that the commissioner is making.
Also, it was not your area of function. You are a statistics person, simply not your area of function.
Commissioners, I would like to explain this. The CIMEC or my duties as an analyst doesn't confine me from doing other duties out of that scope. I only get rated for those that are on my those that are my primary duties, but I can still do other things which are out of that.
But from the answers you've given in response to my colleagues, Commissioners Baloyi and Kumalo, it's quite plain that you were at sea, you were lost as to what needed to be done. It's not your area, as I say.
I would agree.
And also, you said you go out of the office when you do the environmental assessments, and that you would then attend to whatever may arise incidentally whilst you happen to be out there doing your assigned duties. Do you remember that?
That's correct, Commissioners.
Now, do you agree that what you were doing here was not incidental? You left your office upon being called and you went to involve yourself in this operation. It's unlike what you told us earlier, which is being involved in something, if something happens incidentally. This was totally different. Do you agree?
Sorry to interject, sorry.
Do you agree?
I agree, but to explain this further, Commissioner.
I'm happy with the agreement, but you may continue.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. My primary duties, it does not confine me from doing other duties which are operational.
You see, we gave you an opportunity, we gave you latitude to explain what more you may do outside of the office, and you explained, and that had nothing to ordinarily do outside of the office. You have already said, now try to bring this within the fold of what you can do outside of the office. Do you understand me?
I understand you,
Do you
Commissioner.
agree with me?
I agree.
Thank you.
Well, I was going to add that in fact, your commander in his statement says your duties are office bound. That's how he describes your duties. That is Chauke that you've referred to.
No, that's incorrect.
So your station commander doesn't understand your duties when he says, and I quote, "As a commander, I was not aware of the operation since the members' duties are office bound, doing crime information management coordination for the station." That's what he says about your duties.
Like I'm saying, my station commander, I know he wouldn't give a positive statement about me. If I called him, if he was not happy about this. He was supposed to stop me and say, "You're not allowed to do that." Like I've got,
Forget what he was supposed to do. We're not talking about your station commander, what he did do or did not do. I'm following up on your discussion with the chairperson to say what you've agreed with the chairperson, in fact, finds further confirmation from your station commander, who says your duties are office bound. That's all I was saying.
can I say something, Commissioner? Like I say, I fully disagree with my station commander.
All right, thank you, Mr. Msikiri.
Thank you, Warrant Officer Mahani. Let's proceed. I think we are about to enter the premises of Eriton. You are at paragraph 12.
Okay,
13.
just Commissioner.
Had
13.
just read 12. Next one is 13.
Paragraph 12.
Move to 13.
At Scania, we found a person who introduced himself as Miss Jolene Wenzel, and that she was working at Scania as a warehouse supervisor. And she also confirmed that the container was carrying their stuff from Brazil. Equally so,
Sorry, can I just understand something? The truck, who did it belong to? Was it a Scania truck? Was it a yellow jersey truck?
No, the truck, the container was a load for Scania.
Yes, I know.
Then
it
the
is-
truck belongs to Yellow Jersey.
I see, thank you.
Perhaps to assist there. So Commissioner, Scania would have two components. They will have the truck department and the logistics where they transport. But in this case, they are the end user in that the truck by Yellow Jersey was carrying their so-called body parts. They call them the caps. Perhaps Warrant Officer Mahani, let's go to on the
Sorry,
further-
let me just finish my point and then you can clarify. I think what I was seeking to clarify is, so the driver of the truck is in fact employed by Yellow Jersey, not by Scania.
That's correct there.
Thank you. I think that's all I needed to clarify. You can continue to clarify what you wanted to clarify.
Yes,
Mr. Msikiri.
perhaps go to paragraph 14 and we'll come back to the point that I wanted to assist you with in terms of the cargo.
Equally so, we introduced ourselves to her and explained the reason for our presence at the premises. We requested Mr. Wenzel and her colleagues to open the container so that we can verify the information. The container was
At
open.
that point, it's still Mr. Mashaba and you only. I understand the presence of Mr. Nku, but I'm referring to police.
It was still me
Still
and
just the two of you.
that's correct.
All right.
The container was open.
And except for Mr. Pakula, you haven't called for anybody else at this point who
No.
is on their way. who's on
Yes,
their way.
during my conversation with Mr. Pakula, he said, even though it's not on my statement, he said he'll try to source other members from his unit.
Okay. And Mr. Pakula is based in Pretoria.
Yes, head office.
Okay, thank you.
The container was opened by one of their staff members, and to our surprise, as soon as the doors were open, some black bags started falling from the container and others were trapped at the back of the container. I also found a seal which was inside a white plastic. The said seal had the same serial numbers as the seal that Scania employees has just broken when opening the container. I then inquired from Ms. Wenzel if this is how they receive their stuff, but she said this was very strange and unusual.
What did you mean by that? Oh, sorry. What did you mean by that? When you say, when you ask if this is how they receive their stuff, what did you mean by that?
I meant there's a seal that matches the one that was used to lock the container. I was trying to ascertain if this, does it comes with a specie that is inside the container?
So the focus of your question was about the seals, not so much about what was contained in the container.
No. It was also on the drugs also, because I also asked her if this is what they were expecting, the load, the bags that fell down.
Do you want to maybe go to page 35 and then answer Chair's question with reference to the photo? So in the annexures after your statement, there's page 35 and 36.
Please look at that over the tea break and let's resume at 11:25.
Page 35.
If you can hear it.
I'm saying look at that during the tea break. We'll resume at 11:25.
Okay, he's asking for the page.
Page 35, 35.
Okay,
That's
thank
a
you,
J.
Commissioner.
just for completeness, warrant officer, go to, so there's a file that you should have 3 files now. There's one that says file 1. It will say exhibit file. So it's one of the thicker files.
This one.
Yes, just if you turn it on the spine, just check, it should say exhibit 1. Just a second. Can you go to page 101?
Before you do that, while they're still trying to get you to page 101, since this operation, have you learned anything about the significance of another seal that is in the container, which has exactly the same number as the one that you say was at the door? Have you inquired and learned anything about it?
No, Commissioner, you say since after this operation.
Yeah, we know that at the time of the operation, you didn't know anything about the significance of there being another seal in the car, in the cargo or in the container. You didn't know anything about it. That's why you asked Ms. Wenzel.
That's correct, Ms.
Okay. So I'm asking you, since after this operation, have you learned anything about the significance or the meaning of there being a seal, another seal in the container, which has the same number as the seal at the door?
That's correct, Commissioners. As I'm always following this commission,
Okay.
and there were witnesses that were called to this before this commission, and when they testified, I was listening and following it. This spare seal, it's meant to. It's actually is supposed to be used when or criminals or whoever intercept the drugs along the way, then so that when it's they broke it open, they can seal. They can use the spare seal so that the end user cannot suspect that there was some the original seal was cut open along the way before it reaches.
Okay. So you've learned that through the process of
I
information.
only learned from this commission.
Thank you.
Thank you then, Warrant Officer Akhane, then go to page 101. Are you there?
It's 111. I don't know if I'm at there. Maybe if you can just help me. Yes, I'm there.
Yes, can you assist the commission, or what is depicted on that picture?
The top picture depicts the first depicts the seal that was cut open, and the other one is the one that was found inside the container.
Other
would say-
one being,
I would say the spare seal.
there's photo 153 and there's photo 154.
Commissioner, I'm referring to 153, the top one.
Both 153.
Yes, 153, and because I think,
Or rather, both seals are on 153.
yes,
you
yeah,
say.
Commissioner.
Okay.
Yes, you were explaining, Warrant Officer?
I'm saying this seal, the top one, is the one that was cut upon, it was cut before the container was opened. The down one, the one beneath is the one that was found inside the container, the unused one.
Okay, and then you saw this seal as you described at paragraph 15. What did you do with it?
Firstly, I called Jolene, the warehouse manager, and showed her the seal, that this seal, like I was explaining that, I asked her if this is how, and I was also including the black bags, that this is how you receive your stuff. Then she was also confused as where this thing coming from. She didn't have any idea about the space seal that was found inside the container.
Okay, we'll come back again to this, to the seal. Can we then proceed with your conversation with Ms. Wenzel? So you go back to the first file. You've just asked Ms. Wenzel if this is how they receive their stuff, but she said this was very strange and unusual.
That's correct?
Can you pick it up from there then?
We are at paragraph 15.
I
16.
took out my phone. I took out
I
my
took
phone.
out my phone and took photos and also sent to my station commander, Colonel Resinga, informing him that the operation was a success. We had to use,
Sorry, before this and before you opened the truck, when you got there and the container is closed and sealed, did you take any pictures so that you have evidence that shows that you found the truck locked with a seal? Did you
No,
take any pictures?
I didn't do that.
Why did you not do that as an experienced police officer who understands the chain of evidence?
No, actually, I was interested, or I was more concerned in what is inside the container.
Yes, we understand that.
Yes.
Quite obviously, you were more interested in what was inside.
That's correct.
But you arrive there, you want to see what is inside, but it is locked. Why did you not take a picture to show, so that you have evidence that shows that when you got there, you found this container locked with a serial number, and here's evidence of it before we open it? Why did you not do that?
I would say, Commissioners, that was an oversight from me.
Okay. Thank you.
This warrant officer, are you familiar with the National Instruction on Crime Scene Management, Instruction 1 of 2015?
That's correct.
Were you familiar with it at the time when you went to Egerton?
I was, even though some of the aspects where I was no longer, I couldn't remember everything, but all what I know that a crime scene must be preserved and all the exhibits must be kept safe.
Yes, it follows up on Commissioner Baloy's question that you have now contaminated the crime scene by instructing people to open the truck and things fall out, and you're looking at the seals and things are then being taken out. But in all of that, you do not follow what the national instruction requires that a person must do. And I think it's a function of you simply not being familiar with what happens at crime scenes. When you come across a scene like that, what are you supposed to do? It's not just a simple matter of cordoning it off. It's also preserving the scene so that if it has to be used as evidence in future criminal proceedings, people need to know, what did the truck look like before? What did the container look like before it was opened? Who opened it? What happened after it was opened? What did you do after it was opened? And all of that evidently was not followed in this case.
Commissioners, I'm not disputing that a few photos. I took few photos to have the originality of the scene, the original scene, so to say, how it looked like. The only omission that I think I made is not by taking a photo of the original seal.
Yes,
Because-
and that's Commissioner Baloy's point.
I agree with
That
that.
the scene is contaminated. Simply by doing that, it means there's a problem.
I fully agree.
Thank you.
And in fact, the more serious proposition I'm making to you is that happened because you have absolutely no experience in drug busts, and you're in fact ignorant of the national instruction on handling crime scenes. It happened because of that. Otherwise, you were if that's not the reason, then you were being deliberate in compromising the crime scene. So I'm giving you propositions that one, you were either deliberately compromising the crime scene by contaminating it from the get-go, or you were ignorant about handling a crime scene such as this, because you have absolutely no experience in drug busts, it's not part of your job, and you are ignorant of the national instruction on how to handle a crime scene. Which one is it?
I'll take the second one, that maybe I wouldn't be comfortable to say ignorant. But all this, all what happened, it was not through intention of contaminating the scene. But then I thought, I'm trying to preserve the scene at the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Warrant officer, then, can
Let me,
you,
let me ask another question. Now that the truck is open, and I mean, it's open and the container is open, and these things fall out, why did you not wait for the other components that are relevant to this? You didn't wait for K9 to come and check before you do anything. You didn't wait for, you say, DPCI. You didn't wait for anybody. It's just the two of you, one SAPS member and one traffic officer. Why did you not wait for the relevant components, as you referred to them, to come to the scene before you do anything else?
Commissioner, my explanation will be that we further wanted, because there were other bags that were stacked inside. So we thought it will be relevant to take all the drugs, or I mean the bags, sorry to say the drugs, to take all the bags and keep them at one place.
Yes, my question is, why did you think that? Why did you not wait for the other components before you do that? Yes, that was going to have to happen eventually. But why just the two of you, one SAPS member who it's not his everyday job to do this? We can see already you have compromised the scene, but you admit it's not your everyday job. You have one traffic officer. You've now opened the container, bags have fallen out. You think there might be something else to look at. Why did you not wait for the other components? There was nothing urgent at that point.
I agree, Commissioner.
Okay.
Do you know who LCRC is?
That's correct. I know LCRC.
Please indulge me.
It's a local criminal record center.
Yes, and we've had evidence that whenever there are scenes like this, it is their responsibility to come to the scene and take photographs. Do you
That's
agree
correct.
with that?
That's correct,
So
Commissioner.
why did you not call them to come and take photographs before you started removing these bags from the container?
Commissioners, I did call them, but it was after all the bags were taken all from the container.
So after you and your team had put your fingerprints all over?
That's correct.
Scania employees had put their fingerprints
They
all over this
also,
stuff.
we also requested them to help us to load the bags.
And I noticed that throughout that process, this 7 Series BMW without number plates is right there on the scene.
That 7 Series BMW belongs,
Without number plates, can you just confirm that it did not have number plates?
it did not have number plate, but it had a valid
A permit,
a permit.
yes,
Yes, it had a valid permit.
yes. But as we all know, the permit is in the back window of the vehicle. And if the windows are tinted, you would have to be really smart to read the handwritten registration numbers in that permit, wouldn't you?
That's correct, Commissioner.
And you allow that vehicle to be near the scene of a drug bust. And as a policeman, you didn't have difficulty with that.
Because I knew who the vehicle belongs to, Commissioners, to be quite honest with you, and the occupant of that BMW was not even taking part.
You had just met the person that morning. You didn't know who it was. If I asked you what is his address, you wouldn't be able to tell me
That's correct. But
because you had just met him that very morning. And you said it was Mashaba's informant.
that's correct, Commissioner.
Now you go to a crime scene, a drug bust, a major drug bust with somebody who's driving a BMW 7 Series and it has no number plates and it parks right next to the very container that is being searched and things are being pulled out of the container. Isn't that problematic?
Commissioner, I'm not trying to be defensive, but the car that the Commissioner is referring to, it was not, it was parked, but inside the vicinity, but it was not closer to the scene of crime. It was about 300 meters from the scene.
No, but it's inside the Scania. I happen to know where the Scania premises in Eroton are. It's right inside. Can we just look at page 28 or 30 of the exhibits bundle?
Page
28, can we just fly to that photo? It's exhibit 5, poisons.
Perhaps, are you there?
I've got it there, Commissioners.
This is the 7 Series vehicle that accompanied you. And if you look, it's inside the premises
That's correct, Commissioner.
and it is near the scene of this major drug bust. And for all that the Scania people know, this vehicle is there with you because it's accompanying you and Mashaba. Now, in terms of crime scene management, isn't that in itself a problem? Because in your response to Commissioner Baloy, you said one of your duties was to cordon off the scene. But if you are allowing this vehicle to be so close to the place of the drug bust, I mean, that in itself is a problem because bags can easily be taken and be put in the back of this vehicle. Do you see that?
Can I respond there, Commissioner?
Yes.
Commissioner, like I've alluded, this car, this BMW was about 300 meters. I agree it was in the same vicinity. but there was no intention of, and it was not going to be possible for any bag or whatsoever to be taken from the scene and be put inside that BMW.
Warrant officer, 300 meters is the size of 2 soccer pitches. This is not 300 meters away. If you, from where I'm sitting to the end of this auditorium, that's not even 100 meters. And this BMW does not seem, looking at these photos, to be further than this distance.
No, I can, honestly, so, Commissioner, I was at the scene. It was the space or the distance that was between the scene and the BMW. I'm not trying to shy away from the truth. Whatever happened, if I must say the truth, I'll do that. It was not even closer. And to be honest, commissioners, there was no way that one would have carried a bag, take it to that, in the presence of all the people who were there, the security guards and everyone.
Fine. Can we go to 22 quickly, then I will leave it there, just to identify the goal. Maybe page 20 gives us a better picture, but we can also get it on page 22. Can we go to 20 instead? Sorry about that, Advocate Paul.
I'm there, Commissioner.
Yes. So the Golf that you say Mashaba, Chief Mashaba was driving is the one that we see in photo 4.
That's correct.
That's the silver GTI. And then right next to it is the BMW X5.
740, Commissioner.
So, sorry, 7 series.
7 series.
It's a 7 series, I apologize. And then if you look at photo 3, I think you said the Volvo truck that you escorted from Rodekop to Aeroton was yellow in color, so it can be that one that we see in photo 3.
No, the one that we escorted was already parked next to Scania loading bay.
Yes.
These are two different companies.
All right. Is it the one on page 37? Can we just identify it quickly?
Commissioner, before you go there, perhaps just scroll up to 19, to photo 19. Page 19.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
I'm there, Commissioner.
No, I was trying to assist with the proximity of the yellow truck on your questioning.
Can you see the yellow truck in photo 19?
That's correct. I can see it, Commissioner.
Now, do you still insist that the distance from the BMW to the yellow truck is 300 meters?
Commissioner, I'm not sure, but it was not closer to the yellow. It was far away.
Warrant officer, you seemed sure earlier, or are you suddenly not sure?
No, I'm sure, Commissioner, even though I'm saying maybe I might not be right with the meters,
Yeah.
but it was not like this hall, this auditorium. No, this one is small.
Yeah. Yes, that's because it's not even 100 meters, this one. I'm saying, looking at these photos, that cannot be 300 meters.
Can you maybe suggest 150 meters? If not 300, Commissioner.
So you give me half like Sergeant Nkosi, and you take that.
No. Commissioners, me and Nkosi, please. Please.
Warrant officer, I'm sorry. I just want to get an idea of what you and Mashaba thought you were doing. He's a traffic officer. I don't expect him to be skilled in handling drug busts. Your functions are mainly office bound. Yes, you do say from time to time you do go out, but doing anything regarding crime scenes is incidental. So both of you know nothing at all with handling drug busts. What on earth did you think you were doing when you started searching that truck, removing whatever it is you removed and loaded it onto your buggy? What did you think you were doing?
With all honesty, commissioners, the sole intention was to verify the information, have a success operation. Even though both of us were not having any experience in handling the drug bust, but relevant functionaries were sourced to come and assist.
Is this verify information whether there were indeed drugs in the container? Is that what you are referring to when you say the purpose was to verify the information?
If it's positive, exactly.
Is that all that a crime scene is about?
No, like commissioners, like I alluded earlier, that I tried my level best to preserve and make sure that the scene is not contaminated until a warrant officer and other members
Actually,
arrive.
that's a serious problem. That's a serious problem because Commissioner Baloyi said by opening that container, you are already tampering with the scene, and you agreed.
For that, I take a punch.
Yes. And then again, I'm not sure whether it was Commissioner Kumalo, you got everybody to handle what was inside, or at least what you were interested in. The bags that fell to the ground and others that remained stuck wherever it is they were stuck. You got a whole lot of people, including yourselves, to handle those. So that's a second stage of tampering with the crime scene. So I don't understand your statement when you say that you tried to preserve the crime scene. What are you talking about?
Commissioner, here I'm trying to, actually, I'm talking about the exhibit. That because they were not even tampered with, they were still in its original shape.
They are tampered with if a whole lot of people handle them with their bare hands. A number of people, you, the traffic officer, Mashaba, Scania employees, all of you handle all of those bags with your bare hands. That's serious tampering.
I agree to that, Commissioner.
So what are you talking about when you say you preserved, and add to that the very initial stage of opening, breaking the seal? That's the first stage of tampering. What are you talking about when you say you preserved the scene? I'll repeat the question.
Commissioners, maybe I'm talking about making sure that the exhibit are not stolen.
You were clueless, and you knew that you were clueless.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Mashaba was clueless, and you must have known that he too was clueless. Correct?
Correct, Commissioner.
What on earth were you doing handling any of the objects there, the container and the contents? What on earth were you doing?
Commissioner, we were innocently trying to process this.
Now, having tampered with the scene in the manner in which you did, what did you expect you say you called the LCRC later when the bags were already in your van, I assume, your buggy.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Yes. What did you still expect the LCRC to do after tampered with the scene in the manner in which you did? Let's just go to, is it page 14?
It's in file 1 in the
Yes.
annexures.
Page 14.
The statement file.
Mine ends at page
May it be flighted.
13.
It's-
Under the tab item 4.
Or you may look at the screen. So when you called the LCRC, they were already like that,
That's correct.
heaped like that onto the back of your buggy, having been handled by many people with bare hands.
That's correct, Commissioner, I can confirm.
So my question is, what did you expect the LCRC to still do after all the serious tampering?
Actually, we called the LCRC to come and take photos and when we count, because that is the procedure.
So all they would have been involved in was in counting and not doing what they ought to have done right at the beginning, before your tampering.
We didn't anticipate that, Commissioner.
Because you were clueless.
I will take the punch.
Now, at paragraph 16 of your statement, page 6, you say that I took out my phone and took office photos and also sent to my station commander, Lieutenant Colonel Risenga Albert Chauke, informing him that the operation was a success. You've read that already. You want to see it? Have you found it?
No, I was trying to
Please find
search
it.
for page 16. I was trying to search for this.
6, not 16. Paragraph 6, paragraph 1(6).
Yes, I'm there,
Yeah, you
Commissioner.
remember reading this, but there's that part, and that's my interest. And you say you informed your commander that the operation was a success. What did you mean by that?
I was referring to that the information that we're following about those trucks, the trucks we found inside the container. That is what
Had you seen any drugs?
no, by the bags. I assumed that these bags contained the drugs.
But you had not actually seen any drugs.
Not, isn't it when I called him,
Yes.
I informed him that we were following an information about
Yes. I'm
drugs.
asking, but you had not seen any drugs when you said the operation was a success.
Yes, I was referring to the black bags.
All right. Of course, we know that. Let me leave it there. Thank you very much, Warrant Officer.
Thank you.
Warrant Officer, just to maybe wrap up the point at paragraph 16, what the chair referred you to, please go to page 13, 1-3 of the same file.
In the statement or the exhibit,
In the same statement file,
I'm saying
Page 13.
13, yes,
of what, of the
Para-
exhibits of the statement? There's a
State-
13 in the statement.
of the exhibits on the the exhibits.
I'm there, Commissioners.
Yes, so this is, perhaps you explain in your own words, what is depicted there on that page?
The picture on this page depicts the black buggy that I was driving with black bags.
Okay, let's start here. Is this the screenshot that you took from your phone demonstrating a WhatsApp message between you and your commander, Chauke?
That's correct, Commissioners.
Yes, and then on that WhatsApp screen, you see a Paki. And then can you continue what's there, what's written there?
It's too much. How much is it? How much is too much? How much is the estimated value? We're still waiting for the people from drug unit. They will advise us.
So what is happening there, you see you send him this message. You say, according to your statement, this is a success. And then he asked you, what is the estimated value?
That's correct.
And you say to him, you're still waiting for people from drug unit, they will advise you. What is the relevance of you discussing the value of whatever that it is there? Because we don't even know for a fact at that time.
This question was coming from the station commander. I think out of curiosity or interest, so to say, he is the one who was asking, like, hence my answer to that was, we're still waiting for the people from drug unit, they'll advise us.
Would you say that's a relevant question at that stage?
From the station commander.
Between the two, well, the sender of the message, the station commander Chauke, yes.
I think I wouldn't answer for him, but for me, there was nothing sinister.
Okay. All right, let's go to paragraph 17 then of your statement. It's on page 6.
Oh,
Page 6. So this,
Maybe before you do paragraph 7, just to confirm a small detail, can we confirm that when still to do with your removing of the drugs onto the van, that when all of you that carried those bags did not have any gloves on?
definitely, yes, commissioners.
None of you had
None of
gloves
us.
on. Okay. So you would have left your DNA onto the plastic bags
Most possibly.
and fingerprints onto the bags.
DNA fingerprints.
And you accept that in the process you would have destroyed any, or in fact, what do you call it? Reduce the quality of any DNA and fingerprints that may have been on those plastic bags originally.
That's correct.
And so made it difficult for LCRC later on to conduct a proper job of lifting fingerprints and DNA from those bags, because now it's contaminated with yours. You accept that?
I accept that, but can I also say something?
Yes, you can.
Commissioners, you know, according to my information that I've got, one cannot lift fingerprints from a plastic. You can easily lift a fingerprint from a metal,
Do you know, as a matter of fact, that we've had from evidence here that the LCRC attends these scenes and one of their functions is to try and lift fingerprints and DNA from these coverings and from the bags? Do you know that?
No, I don't.
Okay, that's what the evidence has been from people who are involved with drug busts. Now you know.
I know, Commissioner.
All right.
Maybe, Commissioner, if I come across such a scene, I'll be able to do my best.
I'm hoping that when you come across such a scene or information, you will know to call the right people. You will not get involved with it.
Definitely, Commissioners, that is a learning curve.
Thank you.
Warrant Officer, let's continue on paragraph 17 of your statement. Perhaps while you're looking for it, can you fly? for
Yeah,
us?
I'm there.
Yes, can you fly it for us from the exhibit bundle? That will be the stain bundle that was used yesterday. Page 4. Page 4, stains bundle. So it was the one commissioner that was used by Stain yesterday. Are you there?
I'm there, Commissioners.
Yes, just to wrap up the point of the discussion you're having with Commissioner Baloyi. I think the person there appearing there is Colonel Wood, but that's what I want to direct you to. There's a person there wearing a red jacket. Can you see the person?
Yes, I can see, Commissioners.
And you can see the person is wearing the gloves,
That's correct, Commissioners.
and you can see the bags that we're discussing in front of her.
That's correct, Commissioners. I can confirm.
Yes. Then I put it to you that your proposition that there was no need for you to wear gloves is unsustainable, because the very same expert, as you can see there, is wearing gloves for a purpose. You accept that?
I accept that.
Okay. Let's then go back to,
Or I'm sorry, did you get the witness to identify who the person is? I'm sorry, I may have missed that.
no, the person, the face is cut half.
Oh, okay, all right,
It's Colonel Wood, but the witness wouldn't know.
Oh, okay,
But the point was to deal with the issue of the gloves.
okay.
That was being discussed with Commissioner Baloyi. Warrant officer, let's go to, we've been stuck at paragraph 17, page 6. Let's,
Of my statement.
so go back to your statement. Yeah,
Must I take
your
this one?
statement file. Yeah, put that one away.
You say paragraph 17.
17.
Oh,
We had
yeah.
to use a forklift.
We had to use a forklift to take out the truck caps, which were also loaded inside the container. Chief Mashaba and I realized that it was going to be impossible for the forklift to unload the truck on the loading bay, while there were bags already on the ground, stuck near the wheels of the trailer. As a result, we instructed Scania staff to load the bags at the back of my service park, while we were waiting for other members and so that the truck can reverse close to the loading bay.
At this point, you're just waiting for Pakula, right? Because that's who you've spoken to.
Yes, and he confirmed.
No,
Actually,
I know you say he said he'll tell other people.
That's
but
correct.
You haven't called anyone else at this
no,
point.
it was
You're waiting for Pakula.
That's
from-
correct.
Who works in Pretoria.
National Office Nino.
Yes.
That's correct. Ms. Wenzel confirmed that they were expecting a truck caps from Brazil, but denied any knowledge of the black bags, which were suspected to be carrying drugs. We also interviewed the driver, Mr. Brighton Vusimtembu, and he also denied any knowledge about those bags. It was 23 large bags of suspected cocaine. We then placed the driver of the truck, the warehouse supervisor, Ms. Wenzel, and the warehouse receiver, Mr. Cornelius, under arrest for dealing in drugs possession.
At this stage,
Now-
you did not even know that it was drugs. For all you knew, it could have been blankets in those bags. Why did you place him under arrest for dealing with drugs or being in possession of drugs? You don't even say suspected. You say, we placed the driver of the truck under arrest for dealing in drugs / possession of drugs. But you didn't know that it was drugs in those bags at that stage,
Commissioners,
unless you were sure that it was drugs.
Commissioners, can I take you back to the same paragraph? Where it says it was 23 large bags of suspected cocaine.
I get that part.
Okay,
Now, you've got bags and you suspect that they are cocaine, but you take it a step further. You say you arrest him for dealing in drugs, not even possession. You arrest him for dealing in drugs / possession of drugs.
that it's an alternative charge, possession of drugs.
Yes, but I'm saying at this stage, you don't even know that it's drugs in there. You still have a suspicion, but you don't even know. But you're already arresting people for being in possession of something you don't know.
At this stage, I would say based on our suspicion, which were later confirmed.
No, forget about what was confirmed later. You're already effecting an arrest. You're saying here you place the people under arrest for being in possession of drugs and for dealing in drugs. I mean, for you to arrest somebody for being in possession of drugs, you must know that they are drugs.
I agree, Commissioner.
And here you say the bags had not even been opened. So for all you know, it could have been blankets in those bags.
Some other powder. May have been any powder, or even a brick in there. So you haven't opened the bags. All you have is the informer, who's not even your informer, is Mr. Mashaba's informer, but you SAPS, not Mr. Mashaba, you are the one that effects an arrest based on suspicion of matter that you haven't even had a look at. All you have is black bags. Explain how that makes sense and how that fits in with proper police procedures.
Commissioners, I wouldn't say this was premature, but to bring more sense in this, I would say, because according to the information that was given by the informer, everything is confirmed.
Not everything is confirmed. It's black bags. They mean nothing to me. Even as you're sitting there saying to me, there are drugs in there, I will ask you, did you open and look? Which you didn't ask your informer. You haven't told us that you asked your informer, the informer did you see what's inside? You tell us you didn't open the bags. So we know as you sit there that all you have in front of you is bags.
That's
And
correct,
your
Commissioner.
informer has said there will be drugs in that truck. So the question that Commissioner Kumalo is asking you is, are you a seasoned policeman? How do you arrest people on the basis of what you haven't seen and confirmed for yourself, that this is indeed drugs? That's what you're being asked. How do you do that?
My answer to that, Commissioner, I would say it was premature.
Unless you already knew that there were drugs in this container. And that was your reason for going there. Yeah.
Commissioner, I don't want to come defensive. I take that other punch.
The premature one.
I take this one that maybe the arrest was premature.
Not that you knew that in the container and in the bags, it was cocaine, and you knew that in advance.
Because yes, it was just drugs.
Okay, let me test this. Why did you not open one bag and satisfy yourself that, yes, the information from the whistleblower or the source is correct? I've opened this I've opened one of the bags. I can actually see that it is white powder. I have not tested it, but based on what I know, it might be drugs. Why didn't you at least open to check? And I'm not suggesting that you should have opened it. I'm just testing.
At that stage, Commissioner, I think it was still too early. And our personnel will think that we will be tampering with the evidence. And moreover, we don't have any experience.
And just remind us last time, you may have said it already, so I apologize for asking again. What was your reason for loading these bags in your van, which does not have a canopy? And the reason I'm asking you this is you saw later on when the LCRC people arrived, the bags were put on the ground in the pavement and photos were taken of the bags. I'm trying to understand why you did not pack these bags on the pavement so that you wait for LCRC or other people to arrive and attend to them. Why did you see the need to load them in the back of your van?
Commissioner, I think at this stage, when the bags were loaded at the back of the park, it was only me and Mashaba at the scene. And
Yes, what was the reason for that? Why did you not pack them on the ground?
I'm trying to get the commissioner. Being that the case, the scene, it was now getting more chaotic. So for us to safeguard, because if the scene, I mean, if the bags were loaded at the back of, we could easily see if someone will go and maybe try and get to grab one. No? That was the main idea. That's correct, Commissioner.
Did you keep a record as you were loading them in the back of your buggy?
Yes, Commissioner, on that day in question, I had my diary with me
Yes.
because I just visited the station. So what happened is that I was even taking notes of everything that was happening there, like the registration of the cars and everything. This was also even the serial number of the seal. So when we were arrested, what happened is my diary was inside the car and it was inside the car. So after our arrest, the bike was taken to Poison's station for safekeeping. So late after 2 weeks when we were released, when we got paid, the diary was nowhere to be found.
So the diary is missing.
It was missing. I thought maybe it will be in the 13, but it was not there.
Okay, thank
That
you.
is a fair answer, Commissioner.
Thank you.
We established earlier that the truck belongs to Scania and the driver is employed by Scania. You have removed the truck, no, by Yellow Jersey, the truck and the driver. You have removed the truck from Yellow Jersey. Why are you arresting the driver now? Remember, he came with a container which has a seal to it. It's not an open container. It has a seal. Why are you arresting him?
Commissioner, the trucks were transported from Durban to Aeroton or Yellow Jersey by the driver.
Do you know anything about the sealing of the container from its original source, where it came from Brazil, how that works up to it gets to the harbor, and from the harbor to the depot, from the depot, it's now on its way to Gauteng. That seal there, do you know whether it was broken by the driver along the way or that it was actually as it came from Brazil? Did you know anything about it? Did you ask any questions?
No, I will be lying.
So you arrest the driver even though the container has an original seal, presumably from the original point of departure in Brazil. You arrest the driver even though he
Based-
didn't put in these drugs in the truck.
By the virtue of him being the driver from Devon, we arrested him based on that,
You arrested him for driving the drugs.
for transporting the trucks.
Yes, driving the drugs.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Okay.
Warrant Officer Mahane, you came here to testify and assist the commission to the best of your at least recollection of what transpired. What I really need is for you to be very pointed on some of the issues. More often you refer to the royal we, and you are here to testify for yourself. There come a point whether you did it or Mr. Mashaba or Chief Mashaba did it. So it can't be both. You can't be singing in unison at all times.
I hear you, Commissioner.
Yes. Now let's start at paragraph 18. When you say, so on page 7, paragraph 18, we say, we also interviewed the driver. Is it you or is it Chief Mashaba?
Both of us.
That can be, how's that possible?
I mean, if you asking a question, I'm also here, and so it will be you asking a question. When you answer, then I also pose my question.
Then the very same sentence, well, the very next sentence, you say, we placed the driver of the truck.
No, this one, it was, the arrest part was done by Chief Mashaba.
Mashaba.
Yes.
Okay. Please, the next time we see the word we, and where it's possible, let's try to identify whether it's you or Mashaba, as we move on, please. So no, that's fine. For now, I'll take that. Let's move on to paragraph 19. I'm just saying, keep in mind when you see the word we, try to identify who said what, who did what.
Point
when you
taken,
can.
Commissioners.
Thank you so much. Let's go then to paragraph 18 while busy at the scene.
While busy at the scene and waiting for other SAPS members to arrive, 2 members from Poisons Vispol, Sergeant Doe and Constable Mkwambiri, arrived in a marked police buggy and told us that they have received a call from 10-111 about people who were impersonating to be police officers.
Right, just to be clear, while waiting for other SAPS members, you're still referring to Pakula.
That's correct.
And whoever you're hoping he has called.
Yes.
Because you haven't called anyone else.
No, it was still Pakula.
Thank you.
We then identify ourselves and explain the reason for our presence at that premises, and even showed them the bags that were recovered. We also showed them the arrested suspect, and they understood and even gave feedback to 10-111 via radio control. Though immediately after, we had a bit of an argument with them, because without even asking how they can assist, they asked us where we are going to book the suspect and the exhibit. I told them that we were likely to go book the suspect and exhibit in Alberton area because the scene started in that area. But we were still waiting for relevant role players to come and decide.
What do you mean the scene started in that area?
I was referring to the fact that where we first went in Rodikop before we came to Ayrton.
So so your being in Rodikop, you're saying that's what determines, that's where the sin started, your physical presence. Is that what it means, that the sin started there?
I would say that, but technically so, commissioners. It brought some discomfort to us that members will come from Norway. We understand they got a complaint from Tentreploa. Upon arrival, they are now asking about the place where the exhibit will be booked and the suspect. I didn't meant that those things, I was just pulling their legs,
So you were lying to them?
not lying necessarily.
No, it is.
Testing their,
You were being untruthful to them. If now you say you were just pulling their leg, you were not telling them the truth when you said to them, we are going to book this in Alberton. You've just said it wasn't the truth as you said it.
not in the context of telling lie.
It wasn't the truth.
I would say so, but Commissioner,
So what was the plan with these drugs? Where were you going to take them? Now we've established that it wasn't true that you were planning to take it to Alberton. Where were you planning to take these drugs?
these drugs were going to be booked at Poisons, and the suspect were going to be booked at Poisons.
Okay. So when you say that we are still waiting for relevant role players to come and decide, what were you conveying? Because this is your statement.
This is my statement, I agree.
So what were you conveying when you said we're still waiting for the role players to come and decide? If you've already decided they will go to Poison.
No, this was just additional to. But the fact of the matter was that, and even, even procedurally dictates that because the drugs were found in Ireton, that is where the suspect and the exhibit must be put.
So these police officers would have known that. So you were not pulling their legs in any meaningful way because you say procedurally. That's how it's supposed to happen. So these police officers, you would not have any reason to argue with them because you say, we started arguing about after they asked that. And I'm saying, well, they knew, you say, they knew because procedurally that's what happens. So they wouldn't have asked the question if they knew that these would have to be booked in Poisons. In fact, they would have told you, these must go to Poisons.
That is why I'm saying.
Which makes me ask the question, when you answered the way you did, when you took these drugs and put them on the van, because they are on your van, and there's just you and Mashaba there, what was the plan? Poisons is not yet there, these police officers. They arrive, they ask questions, you say, well, the crime scene started there. And I asked you, why Alberton? You said, because that's the original crime scene. That's where it started. That's why Alberton. So I accept that explanation on face value. That's where the scene started. So yeah, on your reasoning, you would have gone to Alberton.
But rightfully, it was the drugs were not gonna, the drugs, including the suspect, we were not going to book them in Alberton. And because another thing, commissioners, it was very strange. Sergeant, Ndo, it's a sergeant. Why was he asking?
No, forget Ndo and why he's asking. Let's talk about you.
That's correct.
You did not report yourselves to Boysen Police Station. Commissioner Kumalo asked you the question earlier that we've had other evidence where people who are operating outside of their jurisdiction, they go and report. We were told that's what you do. You did not do that. Boysen doesn't know you're around. Boysen doesn't know that you've got this amount of drugs. You haven't called Boysen to ask them, do you have space for this? But you say to us, well, they are on your truck. You had already decided they will go to Boysen. Make that make sense.
Commissioner, the answer that I'm giving to the commissioners is exactly what was going to happen. The drugs and the exhibit were going to be booked at Poison. And Commissioner, just to take one step back, I'm trying to answer to the question, the previous question that was raised, that why I didn't phone 10-111. You know, as chaotic as the scene unfolded, it was because of this thing was sent to the radio control. That's why more police started flocking in.
The question asked about 10-111 was long before the chaos, was about long before the chaos happened. You were asked the question, you have an informer, according to Mashaba, who says there are drugs there. You go there. You go to Yellow Jersey. It's just the two of you and your informer. And then you proceed from there. You go to Scania, and it's you, Mashaba, and your informer and the security from Scania, and the employee, from Yellow Jersey, the security man. And then you've got Scania people, Wenzel and somebody. So there's no chaos at that point. The question was asked in that context, that when you arrived there, why did you, as you are calling all of these other people on your way, and when you arrive there, you're calling all of these people to come and help you, and many of them are not available, why did you not call 10-111? The answer can't be because of chaos, because at that point, there is no chaos. Nothing has happened yet.
I agree.
You haven't even opened the container. The drugs haven't yet fallen out. There's nobody else. So it's a different
I agree.
conversation altogether. So it has nothing to do with this.
I agree.
Yes. Thank you.
Can I just understand this? Was it your intention to transport these bags either to Boyson's police station or Alberton in this bakkie of yours without a canopy uncovered? How did you plan to move those bags from Erroton to wherever you are going to book them?
Commissioner, I would definitely wouldn't have risk to to transport these trucks without proper escort and without like in an open park like this.
But you hadn't called any escort.
No,
You had only called Pakula, and if he hadn't arrived, what would you have done?
No, Commissioner, the scene was still far from over. We were not going to leave until the scene was properly handled and everything processed at the scene. It was still very early.
But you had taken no steps to call the people who were supposed to process the scene. You had only called Pakula, who said he was busy. And once you verified that there are drugs there, then he might make a turn. But at this point, as we had already agreed, all you knew was that you found bags in the container and you loaded them on your bakkie and you had arrested people. That's where you were.
Commissioners, yeah, maybe because there's no timelines. It was not even an hour that we were at the scene. It was because if I must be approximate, we arrived at the scene between 8 and 10 past. The Poison's guys arrived maybe 20 minutes later, while the scene was still while the scene was not even processed as yet. So it was still very early to say, no, this is how we're going to transport. The intention of loading these bags at the back of the buggy was solely to secure them. Nothing else. There was no other ulterior motive.
There's one thing I need to test with you before you deal with your interaction with other officers and even your arrest. I think it's in the stay-in exhibits. If you go to page 116, I'm not sure if the witness has 115 of the stay-in exhibits. Maybe to be fair to you, warrant officer, for the purposes of the record, it's CJC 217. And then it starts on page 109. Just go back to 109.
I'm there, Commissioners.
I think we've already established that that is your buggy.
I agree, Commissioners.
Advocate, are we able, thank you so much. That is your buggy after the bags were loaded onto it.
That's
right?
correct.
And the police vehicle that arrived is that one that is parked right in front of the buggy
That's correct.
in that photo that is on page 109. And then you'll see that this is a News 24 or Media 24 newspaper article from the 22nd of February, 2025. Do you see that? On top of page 109, top left, where there's a headline, Update Crime Intelligence Battle.
I see that.
Just on top of that, there's a date, 22 February 2025. Do you see that?
It's
Yeah.
last year on the 22nd of February.
And what they do here, they deal with the disciplinary proceedings relating to General Khan. But if you go to 115, and this is what caused the confusion. Remember, I was confused about the 5 series, 7 series. If you go to the top of the page, you will see that the newspaper article
115. 115.
Yes,
Yes, I see it, Commissioner.
115, the newspaper article had identified the vehicle as a 5 series and not a 7 series.
It's a 7 series.
And I'm embarrassed to have fallen for it. I should know better. It is a 7 series.
It's a human error, Commissioner.
Yes, but I am embarrassed. And then halfway down that page, you will see that there is something that appears to be a WhatsApp chat between two people. Still on page 115.
I see that, Commissioner.
Yes. And we don't know who the source is because this is in a newspaper article. But I think it's only fair that I ask you because you are here. I don't want there to be insinuations that it is you if it's not you. So to be fair to you, I want you to respond to this
You are more
and
than
tell
welcome.
us whether it is you who's participating in those WhatsApp chats. Because what is clearly happening here is that these people know that there was cocaine and it belonged to somebody and they had located where it was and they were reporting back to the owner of this cocaine that it is at this place and this is what is happening with it. So I just want you to tell us if it is you who is participating in these chats. If it's not you, whether you know who is this person who is participating in these chats.
I'll be honest with you, Commissioners. Yesterday, as I was following this, I was also, I don't have a knowledge as to where is this thing coming from and who are the people who were involved talking, who were chatting on this. I saw it for the first time yesterday while General Colonel Stein was testifying.
And I hope you did not fashion your evidence based on what you were watching yesterday.
No, somewhere you align yourself and see, I mean, if,
No, you must tell the truth. There's no need
no,
to
no, no,
align.
I'm telling the truth. That's
There's
why
no
I'm so
need to align.
comfortable.
But you can clearly see, looking at that chat, that it refers to the containers and that the containers are still there. And whoever the other person is, if you look at the blue bars, they say, then send the pics with the seal so I can show the people I'm getting heavy threats. Give me till 7, boss. I'm pressing all these guys. Do you see that?
Commissioner, maybe because I don't follow, I see this 2021, but this article was for last year, February. Am I correct?
No, but remember the point is, this chat was taking place while the scene was still live on the 9th of July, 2021. That's the point of it.
What time was this chat made?
Warrant officer, let's not concern ourselves with the time. Remember, my simple question was, are you participating in this chat?
Not
If
at
the
all.
answer is no, do you know who was participating in the
Not
chat?
at all.
And if you don't know, you don't know.
I don't know.
So don't try to analyze
No,
them.
no, I'm sorry
Because
about
as I
that.
said, we don't know what the source is. And I was only being fair to you by referring you to them so that we don't leave it unattended and people assume that it was you who was reporting back to the owners of this drug.
Like I'm saying, on this day in question, on the 9th, I was the first one to be arrested. And so my phone was taken away at around 12 o'clock. And if this chat, I will like to distance myself from this chat. I don't know the origin.
If we manage to access your phone, we will not find the chats that put you in trouble.
Not at all. I can even, this is the phone that I was using during my arrest. Even today, I'm still using the same.
You know we can retrieve.
The one-time view.
Yes.
Yeah, so it happened.
Let's leave it there.
Warrant Officer Mahani, just on the issue of Alberton, you had testified earlier on that you requested Warrant Officer Pagula to come and assist you. Is that correct?
That's correct, Commissioners.
And you further stated that he said he will bring some people to assist him.
That's correct, Commissioners.
Yes. Now, when Commissioner Baloyi asked you earlier on about Alberton, you said no, you were in fact misleading the 2 police officials from Boysons. It was not your intention to go to Alberton. Did you say that?
In all fairness.
Yes. But I put it to you that in fact, when you spoke to Warrant Officer Pagula, you in fact told him to meet you at Alberton. What's your comment?
No, that was not the arrangement.
He is lying. If he was to be found saying that, he'll be lying.
No, that was not the arrangement. That was never. The only thing that I said to him, it's also in my statement, was that upon confirmation of the information, then I'll revert to him.
Then let's go to it's page 235. I want you to refer you to a warning statement. So we are on the exhibit bundle. No, yeah. 235. Now, that's a handwritten statement by Sergeant Pakula. And I want you to look at paragraph 2 of that statement. Perhaps can you try and read that into the record? What's said at paragraph 2? It's right at the bottom.
Paragraph 2.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's, contacted my immediate commander, Captain Mudupi, informing him that I was contacted by Warrant Officer Mokhane to assist him in a possible drugs, and that he should join me at Alberton. I proceeded to Alberton SAPS. I waited for him. I called Mokhana to ask if he will come, and I should wait
Let me
for
assist.
him.
I think it says, let me assist you there, warrant officer. It says, I called Mokhana to ask for how long I should wait
Yeah,
for him.
For him,
Yes.
he requested that I should come to Ireton, Umnia Park.
Yes.
I arrived at Ireton.
No, that's fine. What I wanted to put to you, and perhaps if you go further to page, in the same bundle, 385. There, are you there?
Some of the commissioners.
Now, that is a written statement by, and this is under Boyson's 25210 of 2021. It's a statement by Ramila William Midupi. And we have established that William Midupi is a captain and that he was called by Warrant Officer Pakula. Now, at paragraph 3, I will read that into the record for you. It says, on Friday, 2021, as we were working rotation, when I received a call from Warrant Officer Pakula informing me that they are following up on a certain information and must join, proceeded to Alberton to join them, and only to find that they have left. I called them and they informed me that they are now in Ereton. So the proposition I'm putting to you that the option of going to Alberton was a reality, and only it was disturbed by the presence or arrival of the Boyson's Vispol police. What's your
No,
what's your take?
that is incorrect.
Why would Warrant Officer Pakula say exactly the same thing that you said to the Boyson's police officers? They are in completely different environments. And Warrant Officer Pakula refers to your conversation with him, including that he started from his original place. He was on his way to Alberton Subs because you had said to him, and I read at page 376, this type statement, that I then proceeded to Alberton Subs as I was informed that they might be bringing the truck and the driver to Alberton for detention as a place where the crime scene started initially. It's exactly what you say in your statement. You told the poisons policemen.
But the event was not, the arrangement was that we follow the track up until it reaches Ireton. And upon verification of the information, then I will call Warren Pakula to come through.
That was the arrangement. You say that was the arrangement. With whom did you make that arrangement?
With Warrant Officer Pakula.
So Warrant Officer Pakula is being untruthful in his statement when he says that after he contacted his superior, Commander Sipunga, and informed him, received and gave permission to proceed and assist Warrant Officer Mukhana. That's what he says. I then proceeded to Alberton Subs as I was informed that they might be bringing the truck and the driver to Alberton for detention as a place where the crime scene started initially. That's exactly what you say in your statement that you said to the Boysons police officers. And you're not denying you said that to the Boysons.
Exactly.
What is the probability that Warrant Officer Pakula would say you told him exactly the same thing? Someone is being untruthful. Are you saying Warrant Officer Pakula is untruthful to say you repeated, to quote you as saying to him exactly what you tell us you said to the Boysons people?
I would say so, because this was not part of our discussion.
I want to put to you that it's improbable. You have not given a reason why he would either be mistaken to repeat exactly what you said to the Boysons people, that you said it to him, why he would be mistaken. You're not giving us a reason why he would be untruthful in his statement that is made in I'll tell you when that statement was made. It was made in October 2021, when this happened in July. You haven't provided an explanation why he's mistaken and why he would be untruthful about it. And I want to suggest to you that it indicates, or the probabilities, that you are the one that's being untruthful about what you said to Pakula, 1, 2, and the real intention about what was going to happen with those trucks. And in fact, the real intention was they were not going to Boysons. You were taking them elsewhere, you and Mashaba. And that's why it was your operation, just the two of you. That's why it is not your everyday job to do this. You go out of the office to go and assist with a drug bust about which you are completely inexperienced, know nothing about. You don't tell anyone of your colleagues at the station to say, come, let's go help. You leave alone, you call everybody else that has nothing to do with it, and then you go and you mess up the scene as badly as you did. You put these bags in an open bakkie that's going to transport them, and it's just the two of you. You haven't called LCRC. You haven't called TRT to come and escort you. You've done nothing that is about ensuring that they are properly processed. What it indicates, I want to suggest to you, what it indicates is there was no good intentions on your part to get these drugs to be properly dealt with as prescribed by the law. In fact, You had ulterior motives about putting them in that van and you were going to take them where they would not be accounted for. What do you say to that?
Commissioners, with all fairness, I don't agree to the suggestion of the commissioner. Commissioners, if I had an intention of doing the wrong thing, one, I wouldn't have left my cell phone with Mr. Hatta. My cell phone that is recorded on my name. Number two, Omnia Park is a it's a modern, a modern industrial area, which I think it has cameras all over. To go still in front of everybody. Meanwhile, I know that my identity was not concealed. And another thing, I was going to be easily traced. The party that I was using, it's a state car. And at Scania, at Yellow Jersey, there's also cameras that suggest even if I left with that consignment, I was still going to be easily traced. If commissioners, me and Mashaba, or we had an ulterior motive, I think this was going to need a proper thorough planning.
Badly planned. That's why it was such a mess. That's why you are handling bags of exhibits the way that you're doing. It's because you poorly planned this thing. It's poorly planned. Firstly, you didn't know that there are cameras at Scania. You didn't know that. You go there for the first time. That they happen to be there, well, it's poor planning. You hadn't scoped that place first. So that doesn't count. It's irrelevant for purpose of what I'm suggesting to you, that there were cameras. It's an after the fact. This was a badly planned thing. You know nothing about drug operations. We've seen that. You know nothing. We've seen from your evidence and from what your commander says, you had no business to be there, to leave your office job and go there to assist someone that you say, well, I've met him before, I don't have a relationship with him. So you know nothing about him. He could well have been corrupt. On your evidence, you know nothing about him. You say, I went there to help. So, and now Commissioner Khumalo has referred us to those WhatsApp messages that actually indicate that this loot, this consignment of drugs, there were people who had an interest in it. You so happened to be in the middle of it. You and Mashaba happened to be in the middle of it, but we know from those WhatsApp messages that that was somebody's consignment and someone was being threatened and someone was under pressure to get it out and delivered to them. We know all of that. It happens to be a consignment that you, Mahane, who has nothing to do with drug operations, are involved in a scene where you haven't called a single role player who is involved with drug enforcement. You haven't. There's no LCRC, there's no SANEP, there's nothing. You say we are in Boysen, you don't call Boysen. They surprise you, in fact, I want to say to you, because someone has called 10111, one of the Scania people. They surprise you by arriving there. You even argue with them and you lie to them to say, where go. You don't say, you know what, you have nothing to worry about. These are going to your station. You lie to them. You say they're going to Alberton. That's your first answer. Pakula says that's exactly what you told him. And these drugs had no business to go to Alberton, but you're being untruthful about this. So what I'm suggesting to you, or what I'm putting to you, is that This whole operation, it was never, otherwise you would have played things by the book. You would have done everything by the book as a seasoned police officer. There was never an intention for this loot to be properly, at least not all of it, to be properly accounted for. And in fact, I want to suggest to you, had you left before the Boyson's people arrived, you and Mashaba, had you left, you may well have accounted for some, but not all of it at your police station. That's what I'm suggesting to you, that there was no good intentions about it. You can comment if you want to.
Commissioners, maybe, I don't know how to put this. Even from the bottom of my heart, I had no intention of driving away from the scene before the scene was properly processed. That's why, and I'll stand by the truth. If I had intention, I'm still repeating this, if I had intention of stealing the drugs, maybe I would have used, and like I'm saying, I only received the call from Mashaba that particular morning. And from there I was briefed. And honestly, I contacted like the trail of calls that I made were from different people. Unfortunately, like Warrant Officer Chidi. Warrant Officer Chidi is from Crime Intelligence. And Warrant Officer Pukungwane is from Alberton. So I'm trying to demonstrate my fairness of saying I had no intention of stealing the drugs or taking them elsewhere. Hence, I'm saying I'm not lying to the commission. I'm not part of this conversation between whoever is here. That's my innocency. I'm trying to demonstrate that I had no intention of taking the drugs from where they were recovered and to another destination. That is with people that I mean, I've only known Nku that morning. So why would I risk with my career with someone that I don't even know? It was for the first time that I met Nku. And to further demonstrate my innocence in this involvement of a drug bust, I had not even a clue as to how much is the consignment. If I've known that this is such a big what with the little knowledge that I have, I mean, the approach would have been different. And I call Warrant Officer Pakula because he was involved in other investigation or that were drug related. That is with all fairness and innocence.
Let me ask you a last question, perhaps. When you say you had no intention of leaving the scene with those drugs in your baggie before the scene was properly processed, we know that by the time, even before Pakula arrived, you had already put the bags onto your baggie. You say so in paragraph 20 of your statement. And then earlier on, you also say you had already arrested the 3 people, remember?
That's correct.
Okay. According to you, what was still left to be done at the scene once you've loaded the bags onto your baggie and you've arrested the 3 people?
K9 unit, we were waiting for K9
To do what?
to come and further confirm to come and further confirm that this is a real drugs. And they were coming and they did arrive.
So you called, so K9 was going to do that and not FSL. You
No.
know there's a forensic science laboratory, right?
No, K9, the dog unit, which also came. They came from Pretoria. They were also at the scene. Lieutenant Colonel Maluleke, who
So when they arrived, you would have taken the bags back onto on the ground. What was the
Like-
kind of elaborate thought? had
like
gone into
normally,
that?
like how it was supposed to be done before. Because I've earlier on elaborated that the scene, I take a punch that the scene was not properly managed.
So you were waiting for K9, who else? Who
K9,
else?
Lieutenant Maluleke from Pretoria DPSI office was called by the younger brother of Pakula. He also came, he arrived at the scene.
Yeah, but you didn't know he's coming. Remember, we're discussing you saying, I wasn't going to leave with that consignment until the scene was properly processed. So I'm asking you, what had you done? What
Prior-
steps did you take in order to complete that process, to make sure that the scene was going to be properly processed before you leave? What are the steps that you took?
Before leaving,
Yeah,
I-
that you took, that would happen before you left with the consignment to properly process the scene.
the counting was going to be done on the presence of a photographer. Because I personally called the photographer through the phone of Poison's guys. And the call taker requested me to give, she was a lady, to give her my particulars, like service number, contact number, and give a brief of the background of the operation as to how it started and everything. So, commissioners, with all fairness, I don't know if I was still going to leave the scene with that bakkie, open bakkie, which cannot even drive 60.
Yeah, well, you were going to leave with it. You were. You were blocked by the Boyson's subs motor vehicle, as we see in the picture, and other statements say you were in a hurry to leave. So the plan, you didn't put them on the floor. You could have left these things on the floor, then it would be believable that you were waiting for other people to arrive. No, you don't. You put them you back up your van to the trailer, to the container, you back it up so that these things are put in there, and all of them on your own account. You had counted them, the 23 bags. You'd even take a picture to send to your superior. So you've now loaded them, and you are going to take them somewhere. You are going to take them to Alberton, in fact. If Boysons hadn't arrived, you would have taken them to Alberton. That's what you told Pakula.
Commissioners, really, I need to emphasize this so that everybody can be in the same picture, or we are on the same page. At no stage, commissioners, that I intended to leave the scene. Actually, I want to clarify something. There's a narrative that was being pushed, that I was blocked by Poison's bakkie. If Poison's bakkie, when they arrive, I was not even in the car. We were standing outside. When they come, I'm the one who approached them. Another thing, if Poison's officers were the one who blocked me, I think there was going to be a statement that says we were trying to run away, so they blocked us. None of these people is saying that. And if maybe boys and people were scared of us, after 3 minutes after they arrive, or between 10 minutes, flying squad also arrived. And there was also a security guys who were at the scene. They would have asked for assistance. And again, poisons are the one who actually helped me to cordon off the scene. So we were working working together. They were assisting.
All right, I've heard you, you've heard my views about
No,
what I say.
I don't,
happened.
I don't dispute it's the commissioner's views, but this is all my honest remark or answer to that.
Let us adjourn and resume at 2:20.
I never.